I think Yu Yu Hakushou is the point where we can say the Datak is dying. Not that it was really living before, but there's a bit of a shift here. We've already seen that the Datak version of Crayon Shinchan abandoned a lot of the Datak formula, but I think Yu Yu Hakushou is where it really breaks down. The Datak system was some expansion hardware that Bandai released. It moved some common functions to its hardware rather than in the cartridge. It added a barcode scanner because that was a trend at the time. The Datak used its own style of game cartridge, which is why it's not part of the regular Famidaily rotation. The full title of the game, Yu Yu Hakushou Bakutou Ankoku Bujutsu Kai, is a bit mysterious. It means something like Explosive Darkness Martial Arts Society, and I thought it might be a reference to something from the source material, but searching for that term only finds this game. So I guess they just thought it sounded cool. Yu Yu Hakushou was a popular comic and cartoon about a punk who got killed who wasn't bad enough to go to hell but wasn't good enough to go to heaven, and so was raised from the dead to act as the underworld's enforcer. And then after they established that premise, it went off and became a story about a fighting tournament for about 5 years. And that's what this game is about, that fighting tournament. Yu Yu Hakushou has the dubious honor of being the second most expensive game that you can play on your Famicom. If you want to get a copy, you are going to be spending at least 250,000 yen. That is the cheapest copy that I've ever seen. And the scary thing is, Yu Yu Hakushou is the second most expensive Datak game. Like most Datak games, this came with a deck of cards for you to use, which you'd scan in. And in Yu Yu Hakushou, they determine what character you'll be playing as. There's also some cards that in the one-on-one matches will modify certain elements of the battle. These cards are one of the big changes though. Previous Datak games had you hunt for whatever barcodes you had, because everything you scanned would have different stats. So you not only wanted to find a barcode that had your favorite character, it also had the strongest version of your favorite character. That's not how it works for Yu Yu Hakushou. All barcodes that unlock the protagonist Yusuke unlock the exact same version of Yusuke. Everyone's stats wind up being consistent, and really they're only health and spiritual power. There is one possible difference for the same character that comes from different barcodes, and that's what special move they can perform. They don't tell you that when you scan the code though. The only way you can find out what special moves you have is by trying them out in combat. There are 2 game modes to play, a tournament mode where you play through the storyline, and a one-on-one match. If you choose to play through the storyline, then you have to play one of the characters from the heroic team. There's 6 possible options there. And even if you choose the one-on-one matches, you can't use the powerful villains of the tournament until you've cleared the story mode. Even in the tournament mode, you'll play one match against a character, and then if you win, you have to scan a card in to select your next team member. The cards don't even work as a gimmick here. And as for the fighting, well, there's a reason this game isn't showing up at EVO. The controls are similar to a standard fighting game, away from your opponent to block, A punches, B kicks. You can do special moves by doing Street Fighter style inputs, and I know it's possible because I've seen the computer do it. But the timing must be absurdly tight. Even for basic moves that I could get to trigger, I couldn't do them consistently. I know I was playing characters with additional special moves, and I even had the move chart. I just couldn't get them to work. Any move that required rolling the D-pad, I couldn't get to fire off at all. You'll also note that some of the special moves are just overwhelmingly powerful, like this Storm of Cherry Blossoms. Special moves use up some of your spiritual power, but you can recover that by punching your opponent. But it's worse. The hitboxes for your attacks are weirdly precise. It's like instead of throwing a punch or kick, your foot or fist teleports to the destination with nothing in between. So if you're up kind of close to someone, your punches may be able to connect, but your kicks cannot. And if you're really close, you might not be able to connect with either. And all of this is dependent on the sprite for the character you're using. It wound up just being completely miserable to play. But wait, there's more. If a character leaves the ring for some reason, whether they're knocked out of it, or they walk out, or jump out, then they lie on the ground for several seconds as a timer ticks up. I have never seen anyone get a ring out, but I have seen lots of matches where people just fall out of the ring over and over again, dragging everything to a halt. Another problem with the matches is the time limit. If you're playing the story arc, every match goes on forever. But if you're playing a one-on-one match, then the timer will tick down. And characters have so much health that it's not uncommon for the matches to end with time running out. And in these cases, the battle is considered a draw. And I hope you like that background for the fights, because that is literally the only background in the game. If you're playing through the tournament, then you'll have to climb a ladder of 14 opponents before you win. But a lot of them will feel almost exactly the same. They just have different sprites. Unsurprisingly, in Japan the only thing this game is known for is how expensive it is. This is one of the Famicom holy grails. But it's not like anyone actually wants to play it. I think just about every single game mechanic here has some significant flaw with it. It makes this game completely miserable to play. And if you really wanted to play a Yu Yu Hakusho fighting game, Treasure made one for the Mega Drive that's pretty well regarded. And Tosei even made another Yu Yu Hakusho fighting game themselves for the Super Famicom. That one isn't as well regarded. There's absolutely no reason to play the Daytech Yu Yu Hakusho game. It's just a miserable experience.